Coming live from the 215, it's your dude ROCKIN, REESE, bringing you another edition of WCC Ring Rockers, the show where the music and the wrestling talk never stop. What's good, everybody? I know last week we was off because it was 4th of July weekend. Actually, it turned out to be a good thing because I didn't have a theme for this week. So I'm recycling my theme from last week, which is it's going to be our All-American special. So we're going to keep our red, white, and blue on for one more day. How's everybody doing out there in the WCC universe? I just thought I heard Mr. Douglas Barrett pop in. Doug, how you doing?
Just sitting in my little office waiting for 11 o'clock to get here.
Yeah, work and stuff. All right, well, yeah. Doug, we're going to have a whole lot of red, white, and blue to talk about.
So, well, you can take the red, white, and blue, but I'm going to take the heels on this one.
Yeah, as long as you're not wearing them, Doug. Hey, that's another issue.
Hey, don't all
right. Yeah, do we have anybody else on the line? Just so you know? I think it's just me and you. All right, well, first, come. Wait, who just said something? All right. Anyway, I got to take off to the event center. All right, we're going to take things off to the event center real quick. So I'm going to try and speed through these real quick, and I got to give a shout-out to my dudes, Thomas, Harold, Eric, and Philip, because, yeah, my team always bails me out because I almost didn't have nothing for this week, but thankfully I do. Because as always, WCC wants to remind you guys to support your local independent scene. So if you're in any of the following areas, hope you guys check out these events. Tomorrow night, July 11th, United Wrestling Association presents UWA invades Blackstock at Blackstock location, 940 Blackstock Avenue, Knoxville, Tennessee, 37921. Bell time for this event, 7:30, and all tickets are $7. Make sure you guys actually show up a half hour earlier because the band Centric will perform at 7 o'clock. And after that, we'll have some UWA wrestling action in the main event. Brad Cash will defend the UWA heavyweight title against Jason Max. Travis Sawyer will defend the UWA Tennessee title against Octavius Black. For the tag team titles, the Money Shot Mafia, Ricky Valentine and Eddie Adams will defend against Spoonie Mac and the Black Tiger. In the singles action, the Wild Eyed Southern Boy Tracy Smothers will go one-on-one with Shane Andrews. The Real Deal, Chase Owens, will go one-on-one with the Specialist, Jeff Connolly. In tag team action, Shane and Donovan Daniels, the Dynasty, will team up against the Diamonds in the Rough, David Young and Sigmund. And in singles action, The Rip will go one-on-one with the Nick Taylor. To learn more about the United Wrestling Association, you can hit them up on Twitter at UWA Wrestling. That's UWA invades Blackstock tomorrow, July 11th, at Blackstock, 940 Blackstock Avenue, Knoxville, Tennessee, 37921. Friday night, July 12th, Impact Pro Wrestling presents the George Tragos Luthez Hall of Fame show from the 5 Sullivan Brothers Convention Center, 205 West 4th Street, Waterloo, Illinois, 50701. Doors open at 5:30. Bell time is 7 o'clock. Tickets for this event are $15 general admission, $20 for ringside seats. And I should mention there's a special event going on all weekend long. It starts Friday at noon because if you are a pro wrestler or you're thinking about becoming one, you can actually have your chance to do it because there will be a tryout at noon Central at the Convention Center, hosted by good old JR himself, Jim Ross, and Hall of Fame wrestler Gerald Briscoe. And then after that, at 7 p.m., there will be the wrestling action headlined by international wrestling ambassador Colt Cabana as he goes one-on-one with Matty Starr. The Tangerine Dream, Ricky Love, will go one-on-one with Nikki Free. In tag team action, the Eliminator, Perry Saturn, will team with James Jeffries to take on the team of AJ Smooth and Ryan Slade. In six-person tag team action, Justin Decent, Numero Uno, and Frankie J will take on the team of Keandra, The Big Picture, and Marshall Scott. In singles action, the intellectual punk, Tony Fly will go one-on-one with Barrow. And in attendance for this Hall of Fame weekend will be the Rated R Superstar Edge, Killer B, Jumpin' Jim Brunzell, former UFC welterweight champion Matt Hughes, and professional wrestling photographer George Napolitano. All four of these men will be inductees to the Triggers Hall of Fame, along with Cowboy Bill Watson and Nature Boy Ric Flair, who sadly will not be in attendance. Also, there will be appearances by Larry the Axe Hennig, Baron von Raschke, and Maurice Mad Dog Vachon, and PWI photographer Bill Apter. To learn more about IPW, check them out at ImpactProWrestling.com or hit them up on Twitter at IPW_wrestling. That is Impact Pro Wrestling presenting the George Traeger's Lou Thez Hall of Fame show, Friday, July 12th from the 5 Sullivan Brothers Convention Center, 205 West 4th Street, Waterloo, Illinois, 50701. Also this Friday night, a new member to the WCC family. They're called GOA Pro Wrestling. It means don't owe anyone, but they're going to own the weekend with a history of hate from the Kaiser Lions Club, 4100 Cherry Avenue Northeast in Kaiser, Oregon, 97303. Bell time is 7:30 for this event. Tickets are $10 for general admission, $12 for ringside, $8 if you're a student, senior citizen, or a member of the military, and you must have valid ID. Kids under 6, you get in for free with a paid adult for general admission. In the main event, it'll be a 4-on-3 handicap match as the DOA heavyweight and Pacific North heavyweight champion Wade Hess will team with Jason Sullivan and Exile as they take on the team of Dr. Cleaver, Patrick Lang, Draven Vargas, and gentleman George Michael. For the DOA tag team titles in the gauntlet, C.J. Edwards and Ricky Gibson will defend against the Honor Society, the team of Draven Vargas and Patrick Lang, and the team of Kellen Rape and Gerald Nelson. In a 30-minute Ironman match for the DOA Pure title, Ethan H.D. will defend against Quiz. In a submission match, the heat-seeking Puerto Rican Mike Santiago will go one-on-one with Jeremy Blanchard. And in women's action, Betty Black will take on Mary Jane Payne. To learn more about DOA Pro Wrestling, you can check them out on Twitter at DOA Pro Wrestling, or you can check them out online at DOAProWrestling.com. DOA Pro Wrestling, History of Hate, Friday night at the Kaiser Lions Club, 4100 Cherry Avenue Northeast, Kaiser, Oregon, 97303. And Saturday night, Pro Wrestling King presents Last Man Out at the Bourbon Park Pavilion, 590 East Sunset Drive in Bourbon, Indiana, 56504. Door time will be 6 p.m. Bell time is 7. All tickets are $5. And if you bring a flyer with you, you can bring in a friend for free. In the main event, Lance Story will defend the PWK Heavyweight Championship against the Fans' Choice. That's right, the fans in attendance will actually choose the challenger. You can go on to the PWK Facebook page and see your list of challengers. Also, after months of rehab, Jimmy W. will return from injury. He will be in singles action. Making their PWK debuts will be the Hollywood Phenom, Owen Travers, and Tara Khan. In tag team action, Jack Thriller and Jack Verville will take on the team of Frankie DeFeese and Mr. Nifty. If you want to learn more about Pro Wrestling King, you can check them out at pwk1.weebly.com or follow them on Twitter at ProWKing1. That's Pro Wrestling King's Last Man Out, Saturday, July 13th from the Bourbon Park Pavilion, 590 East Sunset Drive, Bourbon, Indiana, 56504. Also, this Saturday night, World Extreme Wrestling will come to Mineola Recreation Center, 800 North Highway 27 in Mineola, Florida, 34715. Doors are open at 6:30. Bell time is 7:30. Tickets are $12 for adults, $3 for kids 10 and under. In six-man tag team action, WXW Heavyweight Champion Nick Nero teams with TV Champion Irish Lionheart C.J. O'Doyle and Sean Malou as they take on Alex G, the Beast, and Noah Kakoa, the Prophecy. In a match where there's no time on the end, there must be a winner. Eric King will go one-on-one with Brian Maddox. In tag team action, the WXW Tag Team Champions, the New Yorkers, will go up against Sweet Rhythm. And for the WXW Women's Championship, Kimberly will defend against Mercedes Martinez. To learn more about World Extreme Wrestling, you can check them out at WXWWrestling.com or follow them on Twitter at WXWOffice. That's World Extreme Wrestling, Saturday, July 13th from the Mineola Recreation Center, 800 North Highway 27, Mineola, Florida, 34715. Then, Elite Pro Wrestling will present Summer Steel this Saturday night from Jesse Oaks Food and Drinks, 18490 West Old Gages Lake Road in Gages Lake, Illinois, 60030. Bell time for this event is 9 p.m. Tickets are $10 in advance and $12 at the door for adults. Kids 6 to 12 can get in for $6. Kids 5 and under get in for free. And there are going to be 3 cage matches on this card, including the main event, which is tag team action featuring the Elite Pro Wrestling North American Champion, the Ultimate Power Source Livewire, as he teams with Mr. 450 Hammett as they take on World Heavyweight Champion, Superstar Steve Stardom, and Cecil Cerveza. For the International Light Heavyweight title, the famous Justin Reno will defend against Borderman. And in singles action, Jason Masters will take on Rough Crossing. In non-cage action, the Ross family will compete in tag team action against Pain and Pleasure. In singles action, Devlin King will take on Blake Reed. And in singles action, the son of the late fabulous Freebird himself, Buddy Roberts Jr. will be in action. To learn more about EPW, you can check them out at elite-pro-wrestling.com. That's Elite Pro Wrestling presenting Summer Steel, Saturday, July 13th from Jesse Oaks Food and Drink, 18490 West Old Gages Lake Road, Gages Lake, Illinois, 60030. And the final event that I'm going to promote is East Coast Wrestling Association's farewell and Hall of Fame induction for Aiden Chambers. It'll be this Saturday night, July 13th, from the Greater Newark Boys and Girls Club, One Positive Place in Newark, Delaware, 19702. Doors are open at 6, bell time is 7. Tickets are $15 in advance, $20 at the door for adults. Kids 12 and under can get in for $10, either at advance or at the door. In the main event, the former Grand Slam winner Aiden Chambers, in his retirement match, will take on his longtime Dream Team partner Kakoa, the Flying Hawaiian. For the ECWA Unified Heavyweight title, it'll be teacher versus student, as VSK will defend the title against WCC Zone Cuban crippler Ricky Reyes. For the ECW Tag Team title, this will be anything goes with special guest referee Damian Dragon Super 8 winner, as the D-Line will compete against the Blackheart team of Breaker Morant and the Monster HTU. the winner will win the vacant championships. Also, Greek God Papadon will go one-on-one with the shooter, Vordell Walker. In a Vance Lumberjack Toss the Boss match, Jesse K will go one-on-one with the boss, Mike Tartaglia. In mixed tag team action, the Heart Killer Chris Wilde will team with the Lady in Red, Renee Michelle, to team up with ECWA Mid-Atlantic Champion Ricky the Model Martinez and Lovely Carey. In tag team action, Mr. Ooh La La will team with Kid USA to take on Little Mikey and a mystery opponent. And for the first time ever, Bobby Shields will go one-on-one with the Vietnam Phenom, Matt Saigon. To learn more about East Coast Wrestling Association, you can check them out at ECWAProWrestling.com or check them out on Twitter at ECWA Wrestling 67. That's East Coast Wrestling Association's farewell and Hall of Fame induction to Aiden Chambers this Saturday, July 13th, from the Greater Newark Boys and Girls Club, 1 Positive Place, Newark, Delaware, 19702. And remember, you can check out all of these promotions on Facebook. And do remember, ladies and gentlemen, all cards are subject to change. And that is our WCC Event Center of the Week. And now it's time to put on your red, your white, your blue. It's time to have our All-American special because, as you know, this past Thursday, our good old country, the U.S. of A, celebrated its 237th birthday. And just like with any country, we're proud to support our people, even though they aren't getting it. But there have been many wrestlers that have, Rob, because I knew you were on the line, that probably had to get you on there. But there have been many men that have proudly supported the red, white, and blue, and a couple ladies too. So we're going to take a look at those wrestlers who have done so. Now, first of all, we got to start with our forefathers, that of course being the Native Americans. Now, of course, there have been some that weren't really Native Americans. Chief J. Strongbow and Oahu McDaniel comes to mind. But there was one man who was a proud Native American, and as a fact, for nearly 2 years, this proud Native American ran roughshod throughout the entire WWE on an undefeated streak. Of course, I am talking about the one, the only Native American superstar, Tatanka. Rob, your thoughts on the Native American?
Rob, are you there, buddy?
Ken. Hey. So your thoughts on Tatanka?
I think Rob's drunk again.
So, Ken. Okay, at any point here, guys.
Oh, you mean me? I thought you were talking to Rob.
Ken. I thought I heard it for a minute ago, but hello.
No, but just you and me. Ain't that fun?
All right. Go for it, Dougie.
Yeah. I'm like Bobby the Brain Hand. It's not Tatanka. It's Tatanka. Yeah, I never really liked Tatanka. I mean, this is how irrelevant he is. It's a wrestling world, and I know all the Native Americans, I'm going to piss them off with this. To my recollection, he's only been in one wrestling game. Does that tell you how much the fans really gave a shit about him? So, yeah. Tatanka, yeah, you're Native American. Whoop-dee-dee-doo. Did you do anything with it besides the 2-year streak of undefeatedness? No. Your biggest claim to fame besides the streak is you joined the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Other than that,
hey, way to start off our celebration here, though. But anyway, you can't say that because you know what? I'll be honest. You know, I honestly think Tatanka never got a title in the WWA because it was I'll be honest, I think a lot of people were actually, because I think the WWE was still in that mood where it's were we really ready to go out and crown a Native American a champion or because let's face it, there have been very few minority champions at this, and actually still are in the WWE. or at least if you go by the WWE title. But it's like, I do have to admit, like, how is it that something must have happened backstage that I didn't know about? Because I'm trying to figure out how in the world does this man go undefeated for nearly 2 years, yet only had one title shot in between.
The only thing I can think is, and all wrestlers like this, even today, who don't want to play the political game. Every wrestler, I don't care if you're on the big stage or you're on the small stage, you know you got to play the political game and do some ass kissing at some point. Maybe Tatanka didn't want to do it.
True. I guess maybe it was a political thing, and it was like, hell, it wouldn't be the first time where Native Americans got scalped, because that's pretty much how our entire country is. All right. Well, let's go to our next. American. This guy. Well, his name pretty much says it all. Whether you saw him as one half of Stars and Stripes with Mark Bagwell, or whether you saw him individually in the WWE, this man literally came out in red, white, and blue. I am talking about Del Wilkes, a.k.a. the Masked Patriot. And I'm going to be honest, this is a guy that I think came at the wrong time. Well, at least in the WWE sense. Because I think if he had came right after 9/11 happened, I think he could have really capitalized on his gimmick or whatever, because he would have been like other than Kurt Angle, I think he would have been like the best person to carry WWE at that point in time.
You know what? I agree, and I like the Patriot. You know, he's a nice guy. I mean, of course, you remember him from Stars and Stripes. I mean, him and Buff Bagwell was a great tag team. I think the problem with the Patriot was also when he went to the WWE, it was, near the start of the Attitude Era, if I remember correctly?
Yep.
And that was the other problem. He came at the start of the Attitude Era. Let's be honest, most of the fans during that era, we didn't want to do the red, white, and blue thing. We wanted to be heels. That's why guys like Stone Cold, Eddie, Hollywood Hogan, and a few others who acted like heels got over, while the ones who were mainly baby faces like the Patriot and Glacier, who, you know, if they would have been in any other era before 97, they would have been big successes. But right here, wrong era.
Well, especially because after the whole thing with trying to be the foil to the Hart Foundation, didn't pan out so well. So.
Mm-mm.
Because I was once that faded off, then it was then where do you go with them?
Yeah, the Patriot, great gimmick. You know, I think this is when we have to go back to that old saying, good idea on paper, but probably not the best idea to do in real life during that time period.
And since that, bro. Yeah, but then again, there's another Patriot. There's another Patriot that was always around. Although, this Patriot would eventually temporarily switch sides, but I'm going to choose to include him anyway, because damn it, you can't look at those fatigues and now I go now. Yeah, Sarge, I do got to admit you traded sides for a little bit, but damn it, with G.I. Joe coming out, damn it, with the 2 G.I. Joe movies coming out, yeah, we're gonna put them back in the good graces on this one.
So on Slug now, I love Slug and Slug, but here's the funny thing: some people forget this. I know you don't, Rock and Reese, because you're like me. The photographic memory can be a pain in the ass. He only won the WWE title when he switched sides. That's the surprising thing.
Yeah, you know, that is kind of weird though. And you know what else? You know how you just brought up like how we just brought up with the Patriot about good gimmick, wrong timing.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know what? This would have been a perfect. Yeah, and you know it's funny that you just brought up with Slaughter only winning the title as the Iraqi sympathizer instead of the American Patriot. Like I said, if you wanted to like keep Hogan fresh, here's what you could have done: have him lose the title back to the Sheik, or at least even give it to Nikolai, and then like have Slaughter beat him. Then like have Slaughter beat him, and then it's like, man, you could have worked the whole deal between Slaughter and Hogan like that, and still keep that American patriotism going.
I agree definitely. But it does prove one thing with Slaughter. He knows that he's one of those few guys who can be a great face and represent America, or be a great heel and go after the United States. That's one thing you can't find anymore, unfortunately.
Man, it's rare that you can do it, but and I had to admit, like, I had to give him a lot of courage for that, and it was like, and I gotta admit, the funny thing was, although like he really didn't get pushed after the whole Rocky thing, but it was like he actually wound up getting louder pops, like once he converted back to the USA.
Yeah, which goes to show that us fans are very forgiving when it comes to who we like and who we don't. But you know, you brought something up. You said Slaughter had a lot of courage. I wanted to point something out. I think you said it was what was it? Was on one of the WrestleMania DVDs or on the Royal Rumble thing, you know, where they were one of his biographies or whatever, where he was talking about that. His family himself had to be very careful during that time because everybody hated him. He said, you know, WrestleMania was supposed to be an outdoor event, but they had to switch it before it got there because too many people wanted to kill Slaughter because of what he did.
Yeah. Well, truth be told, that was true even going into the Royal Rumble, like when he won the title from Warrior. So it was like,
yeah, I think he also said after he won the title, he tried to go back to like a restaurant to get something to eat. Nobody would serve him. They told him to leave. I mean, he deserves a lot of praise for doing that, because I don't know if there would be any other superstar who'd want to go through that.
Yeah, well, not only that, but to a point, I'm surprised anybody would serve Macho after that incident, because he was the one who helped Slaughter.
Yeah, I don't think he minds Savage helping just because of the fact of, yeah, it's Randy Savage. He's mentally fucking unstable. No offense to the man who's dead, but yeah, I think we could tell during that time, yeah, he wasn't all there on his head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah. All right, moving on to our next American. Well, if you want to know how Sergeant Slaughter was accepted back to the United States, you could put in one man's name for this one. And of course, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. And I have to admit for this one, and here's another man I thought you could have did a little something with, because like Duggan could have also been a great foil if you wanted to get somebody new again. Like I said, I actually thought if not, well, we pretty much figured Hogan was going to do it, but I could have said during the whole Iraqi thing, Duggan could have been a great guy to like give the title to.
Yeah, I love Duggan. You know, I think we all love the Ho chants and everything. I mean, Duggan's not had a bad career. I mean, he won the first Royal Rumble. He won a King, as we know, doing last month when we were talking about King winners, and he's a U.S. champion. But let's be perfectly honest here, and Alex Wright, a.k.a. Berlin, and many others have said it. Duggan is great on the mic. He can hook a crowd. But when he's in the ring, yeah, you're not. It's pretty much you're going to have to go his style, which is brawler. He wasn't technically sound. I don't think if he would have won the belt, it would have probably lasted maybe a week or two, just because I think a lot of fans wouldn't buy it because he was just not that great in the ring. And let's also remember, Duggan's also one of those guys who did a Sergeant Slaughter, which, hey, I'm the heel guy, so I got to bring it up. He was a USA guy till fucking Vince Russo decided to be stupid in the year 2000, which that's all I got to fucking say, because if we go into it, I'm going to need to start drinking, and I'm still at work.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, what's going on?
Holy shit.
No, just got bored and wanted to call in.
Well, wait a minute. We actually have a woman, a female joining us on Ring Rockers. We need to write this date down.
Dougie, you're about 4 months too late for that, because Dad's been happy. Actually, you know what? Yeah, actually, no, 7, because I forgot when we did Ladies' Night, Heather was my co-host. All right. Anyway, for just tuning in, what we're doing is we're making up our show for last week. We're talking about American Peach, wrestlers who exemplified the American spirit, and right now we're talking about the great hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Oh yeah, definitely agree on that one right there.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I always loved him as the King too.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, honestly, if I think of someone, that has more of that American spirit into the pro wrestling, it doesn't go, as far as, thinking logically of who represented, because there's no way going around it. I think of Hacksaw every time, something like that pops up. I don't think of Jack Swagger. I don't think of Antonio Cesaro. I think of people like Slaughter or Hacksaw Jimmy Duggan.
Yep. Yeah, we brought Slaughter up earlier as well. And, I do have to admit, we talked about Slaughter turning. And I gotta admit, this one kind of shocked. He wanted talking about an American turn that shocked me.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Uh-oh.
Don't do it.
Sorry, Dougie, I kind of have to.
I don't have any liquor, man. Don't do it.
All right. I said WCW, Team Canada. All right, there we go. I mentioned it.
Oh, you asshole.
Well, don't worry. I actually mumbled it. I didn't really sing it.
What?
Yeah, don't worry. I didn't say it out loud enough so you can hear it. But if anybody doesn't remember what I'm referring to, then you know what I was talking about for that brief moment. But anyway, going on to Red, White, and Blue. Well, how can we not pick this man on here? I'm talking about the Olympic gold medalist. Well, as a matter of fact, I was trying to think of a time he hasn't worn anything without red, white, and blue in it. I'm talking about the one, the only Kurt Angle.
Well, Kurt Angle is great, but I think we should all take a moment of silence to honor a real American hero, Neil Armstrong. Now we can talk about Kurt Angle.
Sorry. Really?
I don't want to be an asshole, but I had to take that moment of silence. Kurt Angle, Olympic gold medalist, yeah. Man, who didn't love Kurt Angle? I mean, he represented America, drinking your milk, using condoms, which was stupid because no one knows what they've been since the 1980s. And he wrestled great. I mean, even when he was a heel, though, but he represented America, kind of like what Swagger's trying to do now. I know it's not working. The only reason it's working because of that. But let's remember, though, Kurt Angle was not supposed to be in WWE at first. He was supposed to be in ECW.
Yeah. But unfortunately, Paulie screwed that up like he generally tends to do.
No, it wasn't Paulie who screwed it up. It was
Raven.
Because Raven had to do that stupid Christopher. Yeah. Looked like Jesus, which, yeah, I don't think anyone would ever thought that.
Oh, trust me. Hey, Paulie, even though Raven was the one who committed the act, there ain't nothing that went on at ECW that Paulie didn't know about.
Yeah,
because Paulie's like the Vince McMahon of ECW.
Yeah, definitely. And if you still take a look at Angle now, he still represents his country very well in TNA. I mean, he is American. He's one of these guys that I don't think he's ever got out of his colors, and I don't think he ever will. He'll probably, when he gets inducted one day, he'll probably be wearing a suit that's red, white, and blue.
Nolan Curry probably will. All right, and then next up, because the anniversary just passed of this. Now, this next person didn't exactly rep the red, white, and blue for his whole career, but he did for a little while. So, to a point, I'm going to put him on. I'm talking about from Atlanta, GA, made in the USA. Oh, I'm talking Lex Luger. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know. I had to put him on because, like I said, the anniversary was this year.
I'm just going to say it. Anybody who's Luger made in USA, yeah, how about made in the steroid room? I don't like Luger, and the fact that he was doing that Mr. USA gimmick made me sick. I was so hoping
you're just a critic.
Wow.
You're just a damn critic.
I've never liked Luger. I hated him when he was in the Four Horsemen. I hated him when he was the Narcissist. I hated him when he was made in the USA. The only good thing I can say about him, he doesn't wrestle anymore. That's it.
Whew. Tell us how you really feel, Doug.
I would rather watch Zack Ryder become champion before I ever even say anything good about Luger.
You want to follow that one up? Yeah.
I left you speechless.
Nah, because Dougie, I want to tell you what I think, and plus y'all so scared. Y'all so scaring our women off, man. Come on.
You don't call it the main event much, do you?
But if we go talk real Americans, then I got to bring the last man, because hell, his theme song is real American. I got to put on my red and yellow for one time. Give it up for the immortal one. Although, Father Time's starting to catch up with him. Hulk Hogan, perhaps if any man. I'm going to let you go.
Give me a fucking break. Okay, I get it. Everyone loves Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is this really fucking amazing person. He is overrated. I get it. I've seen him in the ring. He has, he's a legend in the ring. I do admit that he can wrestle good. He's got a lot of good history. But I can't stand him for the life of me. I can admit that he has some talent, but I just can't stand him, especially how he is now. He's nothing but annoying to me.
And especially after, especially if you, I had the unfortunate incident of actually seeing part of that tape. Even if you watch the edited version where it's all digitized.
I don't think I want to know what you're talking about on that edited version. We don't.
Now when networks show it and then they
put it for your sex tape, okay?
Dude, they've had that thing all over CNN and everything now. So it's like.
Do you think I know what CNN is?
Yeah. Any major news network, Fox, MSNBC, all that stuff.
Again, do you think I know what any of those are?
Yeah, Doug, you've at least had to hear them. I know you get the news somewhere.
Yeah, ESPN.
Even on
This is all the news I need to know. You know what? I'm going to agree with her on Hulk Hogan. yeah, he's way overrated. I mean, don't get me wrong. Back then, when he did this gimmick, it worked perfectly because he beat Iron Sheik, which that's what helped him get that gimmick going, was that and being in the right place at the right time. That's always been a thing with this business. You got to be at the right place. He was. I mean, he pretty much rode that gimmick from 84 till dear God, 96. And then, of course, he said, fuck America, I'm going to go Hollywood.
Yeah, Doug, I would have stopped him way before that. But I would tell you this, like, if anybody I thought pulled the U.S. gimmick off more than anybody else, as like Hogan was it, because the man literally could not go anywhere. The man literally could not go anywhere without like being mobbed by like a ton of kids and stuff, and it was like, well, and it was like everywhere he went, it was just like everybody bought it. Everybody bought into him, whether he was 8, whether he was 18, whether he was 80.
But I think there's one person who could have matched and even beat Hulk Hogan in the American gimmick. Just one. And I can't believe we left him off the list. Oh, we haven't talked about him yet. Oh, he's the American Dream, man.
So, Dusty, wait a minute. I gotta admit, like, I'm glad you brought Rhodes up because you know what? As much as his name says it, you know what? I gotta admit, I have one problem. Not one time did I ever see Dusty do anything patriotic. Not one time have I ever heard Dusty ever talk about anything. Actually, wait a minute. Maybe I can think of one time he actually did. But most of the time it was like Dusty was usually like jiving and talking about himself. It was like trying to get himself over. It was like, oh yeah. The only thing he was talking about that was American was like having a blue collar work ethic, which I do gotta admit, Dusty actually did. But other than that, I was like, yeah, forget the American dream. He was just his own dream.
I think, honestly, he came up with that name to get the attention because, to me, he seems like this big, huge attention whore, honestly. And his son takes, like, right after it, except Cody is a lot better. But, you know, honestly, he didn't represent anything American to me, other than having the American dream inside his name, which was pathetic. He didn't represent anything but jack shit. On that note, ooh. All right, kids, I'm about to like go over my limit here. But anyway, I just want to thank both of you for calling in, and this was actually a hell of a discussion. I got to give props to both of y'all. But that is our show for today. Thank you very much for calling in. And next week it's going to be our boys and girls of summer because we are, believe it or not, real deep into the season. So think of those sexy girls, ladies. Think of your hot guys, and I will see you next Wednesday night, 10 Eastern, 9 Central, right here on WCC Ring Rockers. Make sure you also check us out on Facebook at Wrestling Commentary Central and at the WCC Live page. Also hit us up on Twitter at WCC Live. Also check out the TNA Recipe tomorrow night. We got Sex Battles coming up next in just a few seconds. And, of course, WCC Main Event Fridays. And don't forget this Sunday, Money in the Bank post-show at 11:30 Eastern. Until then, I am ROCKIN REESE. And make sure you keep it tuned on the show where the wrestling, talking, and music never stop. WCC Ring Rockers, Sex Battles is coming up next. I will catch you next week. Good night, everybody.